Hey guys, this is going to be a quick run through of the Federalists versus the Anti-Federalists. In class, we were looking at the Constitutional Convention, and these two groups emerged from that convention. While they were composing the Constitution, people didn't always agree on what was being written. As we already stated, compromises had to be made, and compromises were made. But at the end of the day, in order to create this government, the Constitution had to be ratified. But in order for the Constitution to be agreed upon and to be ratified, everybody had to agree. And that simply wasn't the case. 9 out of the 13 states that sent their delegates to the Constitutional Convention had to agree. And since everybody did not agree with what was being written, two groups emerged, the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists. The Federalists, they supported the Constitution. They agreed with everything that was being written at the time. The reason why they are called the Federalists is because of the idea of federalism, which is one of the principles of the Constitution. In federalism, it is believed that power should be divided between the national and state government to best serve the citizens. So with that being said, we should have a strong central government, and the state governments should answer to this strong central government. So it's a hierarchical system where you have a national government where everybody has to follow the same laws and rules. And then you have a state government where everybody within that state has to follow the rules and the laws. The Federalists believed that the U.S. would not survive without strong leadership. So we needed an executive branch and we needed a president. And we needed to make sure we had a central government that would tell the states what to do. Everybody didn't agree with this. Most of the people who were Federalists were of the upper class. In order to get support and gain support, the Federalists had a series of essays called the Federalist Papers. Famous historians and philosophers and politicians such as Alexander Hamilton, James Madison, and John Jay all contributed to the writing of the Federalist Papers. In these Federalist Papers, these gentlemen defend the Constitution and argue that we need a strong central government and strong central leadership. The Anti-Federalists were the opposite. They did not agree with what the Federalists were saying. The Anti-Federalists opposed the Constitution. They believed that if we had a strong central government and strong leadership, then the rights that citizens gained since becoming independent from Britain would all be lost. If we had a strong central government, they thought that that would take away from the states, and the states have more ability to watch over and protect the citizens' rights. So they didn't really like the idea of having a strong central government and a strong leader. They said with a strong central government and a national leader, that the common man would be overlooked. So the people who were not considered a person of distinction, which we talked about earlier, they would be overlooked and their rights would not be protected and their rights would be lost. So the Anti-Federalists gave the Federalists an ultimatum. They said, add a Bill of Rights to the Constitution and we'll accept it as it's written. If you don't add a Bill of Rights, then we won't accept. So because of the Anti-Federalists, we have the Bill of Rights added to the Constitution to make sure that the citizens' rights were protected. After the Bill of Rights was added, the Constitution was ratified. The Federalists and the Anti-Federalists both agreed that a Bill of Rights was necessary, and that's how we have our modern-day Constitution.